sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Listen, if you're like me, you hate doing admin crap. Number one, because you're not good at it. And number two, because you know it's taking you away from the stuff that actually makes you money. So why are you doing it? Do what I did. Go to worksby.com right now and let them pair you with a real executive assistant. Once I started working with Cheryl at Worksby, my income went up 40% in 1 month, and my working hours went from 70 down to 40. It's a game changer. Go to worksby.com right now, book a call, and tell them Walker sent you. If you do, you'll get 2 extra hours of service for free as a bonus. So if you're ready to finally stop doing the stuff you hate and focus on the stuff that makes you money, go to worksby.com right now. That's WORXBEE.com. Tell them Walker sent you, and you'll get those 2 free hours. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. First thing I want to do is thank you, No BS Sales team. In the last 3 months, I have had significantly higher downloads of this show than at any other time, which is really freaking cool. It's been fun to work on this. It's fun to get feedback from you guys. It's fun when I hear from you, the lessons that you've learned. I want to encourage you, if you have not already, please subscribe to this podcast and rate it. Give it, tell me what you think. What are some things you've learned from it? But rate the podcast. Hell, give me 5 stars. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that's what I'm looking for. And share it with people. Share either the episode or share the entire series with people that you think need to hear the message that we're sharing here at the No BS Sales School podcast. Today, the reason I want you to listen and the reason I want you to share this with somebody is I'm going to talk about a word that has been coming into my mind for the last couple of weeks, and I think it is very much overshadowing, or it's something that's a big part of what I do and what I teach people. And that word is intention, right? And intention to me means, what do you want to happen? What is your intention? What do you want to happen? And so intention to me is an active thing. It's not a passive thing, right? It's active. So I think intention is one of the most important things in life, because at each stage, probably from moment to moment or second to second, if we have an intention, right, and we're committed to making that intention happen, then we live our life intentionally, right? We always hear this stuff. We live our life intentionally, which means we live it in a vein that we know what we want to happen. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen, but we're living our life in a way that we want things to happen. What is the old story, right? When we make a plan, God laughs. But I think by living intentionally, we can end up much closer to a good outcome, right? For the outcome we intended, than if you just let things go. So I can judge when I was younger, when I got in the commercial real estate business, I got in the banking business right out of college. I think my intention was just to get a paycheck, right? My intention, I think, was just to try and live my life almost as if I were in college, but instead I got a paycheck and had a job from 8 to 6. And that was my intention. And you know what? I hit my intention. That was great. I think as some of you know, after 18 months, I either quit or was fired. I don't remember because that's been so long ago. But so that didn't work out so well for me. Maybe I reached my intention and my intention and the bank's intention for me were different. So then I got in the commercial real estate business. And I think my intention at the time, I would have told you my intention was to be wealthy. I think my intention, however, was an extension of the first thing, which was, how can I make enough money and have enough freedom to live like I did when I was in college? By the way, that was not particularly healthy living, but it sure as hell was fun. But that was my intention. If maybe I wouldn't have admitted that, but I can look back and see clearly that's what it was. And as I've moved through my life and my career, my intention, I have recognized the power of intention. and to be conscious of my intention. So I just finished reading 2 books, and I'll put the links to them in the show notes, that really brought this out to me, the importance of this. One is called Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. He writes a lot. Probably a lot of you guys have read Ryan Holiday before. He writes a lot about the Stoic philosophers and their belief about the world and how that is so relevant to us now. So this book is Stillness is the Key, and it talks about how important it is to have a separation, a quietness in your life, right? Basically, it's an intention in your life. Instead of just running around being busy and being overrun with things, it's to be intentional about taking space to think, to recover, to relax, which many of us never do. We never take the time to do that. And when we do take the time to recover, relax, guess what's in our face? Our damn phones or the internet or some crappy series on television. And I'm not busting Netflix. I'm not saying anything bad about any of that stuff, but when's the last time you actually took the time to slow down and think, to think about what's going on in your world, to think about what's going on with your family, to think about what's going on with your business, and then to see what are my what have my intentions been? And then perhaps to ask yourself the question, what should my intentions be? Left alone, if we don't set our own intentions, if we're not intentional about our intentions, I think what happens often is that the worst of us comes out. It's that we're not thoughtful and that just things kind of come as they do. And while that may be okay in some parts of your life, imagine if with your family, your intention was just to see what could happen next. Imagine if your intention with your business was, hey, let's just see what happens next. Right? Things won't go well. They won't go, it'll end up going not well because you'll be pulled by gravity to the lowest common denominator. I read this thing a couple of weeks ago that said in a crisis, we will fall to our lowest level of skill, our highest level of skill and practice. So in a crisis, we will fall to our highest level of skill and practice. So if you have not practiced for those things, you're going to get creamed. Life is chaotic anyway. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. It is freaking chaos. And if you're in chaos right now, just know that this chaos, this version of chaos will end. It's going to end. And then it will be replaced by another version of chaos. Happens to everyone. Maybe you don't see it in other people. It's easy to see that other people's lives seem so peaceful and great and they got everything they want. They have chaos in their lives too. When you add on top of that the crazy shit that's going on in the world with viruses and politics and business and investments, all that kind of stuff now, freaking chaos. We must take time for ourselves to set aside, right? And be that, for some people, that's a walk in the woods. For other people, that's a sit down in a place where it's different than you normally sit down. In my mind, maybe that's the Richland. In my mind, maybe it's the library where I can go sit down in the quiet at an area that I'm not always in and begin to think about things, my business, my family, my life, what's going on, and reset, refocus on my intentions. When's the last time you did that? When's the last time that you yourself did that? If your question is, shit, I've never done that, or it's been a long, long time, I'm going to suggest to you, you should do that. And I don't care if you're 18 or 25 or 65 or 80. What are your intentions for your life? So I'm going to dig into that in a minute. But the second book I've been reading that I highly recommend to you is called Who Not How. Who Not How, written by Dan Sullivan, who's the guy that founded Strategic Coach, and a guy named Dr. Benjamin Hardy, whom I've read another book of his about 2 years ago that I love called Willpower Won't Work. Well, Who Not How is it said there are two kinds of problems we try and solve. Some are technical problems and some are, I've forgotten the other kind, but it involves thinking, right? Creative problems. And so what he talked about was if you come to a technical problem, which is one that can be solved with money, what you need to be thinking is not how do I solve that, but who do I get involved to help me solve this. Maybe that's their strong point. So if you have a financial issue, you're trying to figure out who do you need to be in touch with that could be an expert to help you decide that. If you have a marketing problem, how do I get my marketing up and going better? What Hardy and Sullivan say is find the person who can do that. Don't worry about trying to learn it yourself. Don't worry about trying to learn. That just clutters your brain away from the stuff that you're naturally good at. They say find somebody else. And why this struck me so much was y'all have heard me talk about it. They're the sponsor of my show is WorkSpee. And I have Cheryl, a wonderful assistant. And now she is now my practice manager, right? She's gone from being my virtual executive assistant to my practice manager. She runs the show for me. She does all the stuff that I'm either not capable, not qualified, or not interested in doing. And so because she now does that, I've been able to increase dramatically the amount of stuff that I can do that's in my sweet spot, that I love doing: prospecting, talking to people, having great conversations with folks, coaching my clients, talking to people that may need my help, planning, preparing for webinars. By the way, if you have not signed up for something called Bright Talk, brighttalk.com, go there. I'm doing a series. It's a great thing called the Sales Experts Channel that I've been a part of this year. I'm doing a webinar a month on a topic. We typically have about 30 days notice ahead of time, but typically one a month. I've done 2 so far, been super successful. Had a couple of hundred people that have come to those things where I'm sharing some of the concepts that I've learned. So if you have not signed up for Bright Talk, it's free. Sign up for, go to Bright Talk and then sign up for the Sales Experts channel. You'll also see on social media, you'll see me posting stuff about my upcoming webinars. Sign up there. There are not just me, there's 70 other sales experts there that talk about everything from how to market, how to close, how to use social media to grow your business, how to create inbound leads. There's all kinds of great stuff there that is free. So if you have not signed up for Bright Talk or Googled Sales Experts channel and signed up for that, I highly recommend it. There's great stuff there. So and by listening, I want your intention to be, what's one thing that I can learn today that I can put into place, that I can go practice, that will make me better? What's one thing? So getting back to this intention thing, right? What is your intention? What are the things? And what I have found that my intention is to grow my business with the right clients. My intention is to find those clients that need my help, that are willing to make changes, that are mavericks often in their industry. Ones that maybe if they're competing against other people, maybe they're number 2 or number 3 in their space, or they're way down the bottom. And they got to kick other people's ass. They got to take business from other people. And that's their intention, is to go plunder business from other people. And they got to figure out not how to do it, but they say, who can I call? Who can I get involved on my team who can help us do this? Who else can I get involved on my team that can help us do this? Now, those of you that work with me know I don't do it for you, but I'll show you how. And I'll hold your hand the way, right? I'll hold your hand along the way. And so my intention is when somebody hires me is to give them 10 times the results they expected. My intention is to give them 10 times the results expected. So if that's my intention, how hard am I willing to work? I'm willing to work very hard for those guys. I'm ready and I'm willing to work very hard for the people that are willing to put their money where their mouth is, but not just giving money, because that's one thing, but are they committed to doing what it takes? Because I'm going to show them things. My intention is to show you things that will be outside of your comfort zone. Here's what I mean by that. I don't mean cheesy crap. I don't mean rah-rah bullshit. I don't mean fancy closing techniques. If it has a name, like the alternative events close or the blah, 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 blah close, I don't teach it. My intention is to teach people how to be themselves, not cheesy, to be themselves and to be transparent. And all of their sales efforts. I want people, their prospects, to go, wow, this is different. This is not like a normal salesperson. This person actually listens. They're actually curious. They want to know my opinions about things. And maybe your prospects won't maybe they won't think that consciously, but what they'll know is this is a different experience. I trust this person. I trust them faster than I normally would because they're not acting like some jackleg sales guy. So in my sales efforts, my intention, right, is to reach out to as many people as I can to see who might be ready for me now. Who's ready for me now? I know I have stuff that can help a lot of B2B sales companies, some B2C, but if I work with them, I can definitely make them better. Here's the thing though, they may not be ready for me yet. My intention is to figure out who's ready. And if you're not ready, fine. It's not the right time. We can talk again another time if you want to. But my intention is to find that out and my intention is to be transparent about it. My intention is to get at each meeting a yes or no to something. Are you doing that in your meetings? When you go in and set it up, do you let your prospect know that your intention or what your intention is, right? Because that takes forethought. Intention by definition takes forethought. You got to think about it. So my clients know we do a pre-call plan before we start a sales call. And in that pre-call plan, we're writing down what's an ideal outcome. What's a good outcome? But start with what's ideal. And so in a sales call, I want to be very transparent at the very beginning. I might say, listen, why don't we figure out if it makes sense to do X today? Are you okay with that at the beginning? Why don't we figure out if it makes sense for you to do this at the end of our call? If you want to, great. If you don't, no big deal. If I don't think you should take the step, I'll probably figure it out sooner than you, and I'll be sure and tell you. How can you be more clear than that about your intentions? See, your prospect may not trust you, and they will therefore often keep their intentions hidden. What if you knew that their intentions were only to get a price from you to shop you against other people? How much time would you spend there? What if you knew their intention was to just get a price so they could beat up their current guy, or to get a price so they could justify the other decision they've made? How much time would you spend there? What if you knew that their intention was to do something in the next 4 years? How much time would you spend there? See, I think it's important, the most important thing, to be transparent in your intentions and to ask for transparency in the same. And part of that is, are you trustworthy enough? Can they look at you and say, this person I trust enough to tell them my intentions? I mean, how often, what happens? You walk into a store, right? You walk into a store and some chump sales clerk comes up and says, can I help you? You're not going to tell them, yes, I'm looking for this. You say, no, just looking. You hide your intentions. You hide your intentions. Why? Because you don't want to get forced into something. It's a natural reaction. Because that's what all the salespeople say that. Oh, can I help you? No, I'm just looking. 100% of them. Okay, 99.9% of the time they say that. I've learned to fight that impulse and to tell somebody what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'd like to do this today. It's amazing what happens. But why do people do that? They don't trust. Because they don't understand these. They think the salesperson's intention is to jam something on them. Well, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And as a salesperson, as somebody's going out to bring in business, as a professional going to do business development, share your intentions and then ask the other person for their intentions back. Make sure you're on the same page. One of the things I'll tell you about when you share your intentions is your prospect typically doesn't know how to buy from you. They don't know. They know how they've done it from other people. Oftentimes they got to get 3 prices. Well, if that's their intention, and you know you're not going to be cheapest, I want you to be more expensive than all of them. If you know that's the case and their intentions get 3 prices, they're going to pick the lowest one. How much time do you want to spend there? if you knew that their intention was to get 3 prices and then they were going to call and meet with each person, maybe make a business decision to do that. I would tell you though, I'd want to have my meeting way before I gave somebody prices or proposal. I don't want to give anybody a proposal. I don't want you to either. That you're not 90% sure is going to buy from you. If you're doing this right, you have people pay you for your proposals. I know that sounds bizarre, and I'm sure nobody in your business would do that because everybody else would give it away for free. Here's what I want you to say instead. I haven't figured out how to get somebody to pay me for a proposal. My clients do it all the time. My clients get paid for their proposals. All right? Can you do that? What's your intention? Is your intention to be a free consultant? Is your intention to, come in and show people how to solve their problems and just hope that they think you're good enough to solve them? I would tell you, if that's your intention, you're going to waste a lot of time with people. Another thing about intention is, if you're as a business owner, an entrepreneur, what's your intention for your employees? What's your intention for them? Are you intending to help them grow? Is your intention to develop them into much stronger, smarter, better? To give them opportunities to grow? And what resources are you putting behind that? What commitment do you have to that? What's your intention? Is it truly your intention, or did you just use those words? Is your intention just to bring them on, let them stay the same? Or is your intention, like some of these companies these days, is turn them and burn them? I don't give a shit. Lots more people out there looking for a job. I'll run these guys for 6 months until they quit, and then I'll hire somebody else, another young, dumb, and stupid. Because see what happens, your intention is your culture. Your intention is your culture. You as the leader set the intention for the culture in your company. If you intend to grow a healthy, growing business and you are committed to that, then you'll do the things that it takes. If you haven't thought about it, then your culture will be willy-nilly. It'll be messy. Culture is the most important thing for building a healthy company. But your intention needs to be, well, I guess be clear with your intentions to yourself first and then to others. Where does your intention need attention? What are some things in your life? What is your intention for your life? And here's what I want you to think about there. Let's pretend it's the end of your life. It's your last day. You've had a wonderful life and you are comfortable the day before and cognizant the day before you go on to the great beyond. And you think to yourself, this has been great. It's been successful. What would have happened? What would you have experienced or achieved? What is your intention for your children's lives after you're gone? What is your intention for who they're going to be? What is your intention for who they are and who they're going to be? What's your intention for your business after you're gone? If you think about now, maybe where some of you are, what's your intention for your time after you stop working for a paycheck? What's your intention for that time? A lot of people talk about retirement. I think the words retirement, I think that concept has changed dramatically. I know it has for me. I think when I was in my 20s, I expected that when I retired, fabulously wealthy in my early 50s, that I would be traveling around the world and doing what the hell I want to do. And that's changed dramatically. I think if my commitment had been with my intention at that time, maybe that could have happened, but I wasn't committed. I was more committed to having fun. Nothing wrong with that. Just put me in a different path. Now my commitment, my intention is to do some version of what I'm doing for as long as it's fun. And I want to get to the place, I'm not there yet, where I don't have to do it for the money. I'll still charge people. But where I don't have to do it for the money, I do it because I want to. I'm at the point in my business now where I only take clients that I want. And that's made all the difference. My intention has gone from bring as much business in the door as possible so that I can just get money in the door so that I can pay my rent and pay my bills to I'm there. My intention now is to work with people that are the right fit for me, that have the right intentions themselves. And that's made all the difference. So my intention is to find more of you and to work with more of you and to be able to get the returns we've talked about, where I blow your mind with the kind of returns you're getting on the money you spend with me. That's my intention. So what's your intention? You intend to get better? Are you committed to that? What are you doing about it? What would happen if you did commit? What could stop you? Things will take you on different paths, but if your intention is to head north, you'll be going that way, right? And all the things that come with that. What I find is when you set your intention, things will come your way that match your intention. If you kind of are wobbling back and forth, things don't come your way, not important things. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. It's been fun. Thank you for listening. Once again, I want you to share this episode with somebody that needs to hear it. I want you to, if you haven't already, subscribe to this, rate it, post on social media that you listened. That would be a hugest favor. If you will post on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, I don't care, that you listen to this podcast today and what you learned. Recommend it to other people that way. Huge thing for me. People are like, gosh, you give away a whole lot of free content. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's intentional. I do that because I want to help. Help me help you. Spread the word. If you're wondering if it's the right time to have a conversation with me, I promise I will not bite. If you're wondering that, it may be the right time for us to have a conversation, a no BS conversation where you and I talk about what's going on with your business right now and help dig in and figure out what are your intentions. And then if it's the right fit, my intention is to see how can I help you 10 times what you expect. If you're wondering if it's the right time, let's have a conversation. Doesn't mean it could be our last conversation. Doesn't mean you have to buy. Doesn't mean I'll take you as a client. What it means is you're willing to stick your neck out there and have a conversation about what you're doing now. Maybe you're doing fine. Maybe you got all the right stuff. But if you're sitting there thinking, I need to hire salespeople, or I got some folks that aren't working out, or you're a salesperson, entrepreneur that you say, I've got to get better at sales. This is the lifeblood of my family and my business. I got to get better at it. Pick up the phone, let's have a phone call. You will see that I will put no pressure on you to buy anything from me. I'll probably try and convince you otherwise. Thank you very much, No BS Sales Team. You guys are great. If you want to talk to me, email me, walker@walkermckay.com. You want to set up a meeting, email me, walker@walkermckay.com. Or hell, if you want to, pick up the phone and call me, 803-917-2817. Are you gutsy enough? Are your intentions really to get better? Or are those just your words?